So today, we're going to break down a really brilliant go-to-market strategy. It's all about how one company is taking the good old QR code and turning it into this incredibly powerful conversational tool. And in doing so, they're basically creating a whole new market category. Honestly, this is a masterclass in solving a problem we've all had. Let's dive in.
I mean, seriously, think about it. You see a QR code, you pull out your phone, you scan it. You're kind of curious, right? And what happens almost every single time?
Yep, that's what happens. It's a dead end, a one-way trip to a boring PDF menu, or, just a generic company homepage. It's basically a dumb link that doesn't actually help you with anything. It is such a massive, massive missed opportunity. But what if it were different? What if that simple little scan did something totally unexpected? Instead of just throwing a document at you, what if it started an actual, helpful conversation? And that right there is the huge idea this whole strategy is built on. Okay, so the first piece of the puzzle here is how they identified a really specific failure in the market. The company calls it the simplicity gap, and believe me, it's something that businesses wrestle with constantly. So businesses have been stuck in what you could call a false binary. You've had two bad choices. On one side, you've got super simple stuff like a QR code to a PDF. Easy, but so boring. And on the other side, you've got these really interactive experiences like augmented reality, but they're way too complex. They usually make you download a separate app, and let's be honest, who's going to do that? And this is where their solution just elegantly slices right through that problem. They created a third path, something that has all the simplicity of a quick QR scan, but also all the rich, dynamic interaction of a much more complex system. Let's take a look at what they call QRI. So QRI is the product that just perfectly fills that gap. It's a scan-to-talk experience. You scan a code and boom, you're instantly chatting with an AI agent that knows all about the specific object you just scanned. No app, no fuss. It's really the best of both worlds. But, and this is important, this is where the strategy gets really, really clever. Because the thing you're talking to, it is not just a chatbot. And that distinction is absolutely crucial because it unlocks the entire value of this platform for big companies. It's the difference between just answering a question and actually getting something done. And here's the difference in a nutshell. A chatbot is informational. It can tell your restaurant's hours. An AI agent is transactional. It doesn't just tell you the hours, it books a table for you right then and there. See? It's all about action, not just answers. I love this quote because it just perfectly sums it up. This isn't just a Q&A tool, it's like a digital employee that works 24/7 to autonomously handle real tasks. Booking, scheduling, initiating a product return, you name it. That's a gigantic leap in what this technology can do. And the brain behind this whole operation is what's called agentic AI. Just think of it as AI that has the power to act on its own. It has agency. And this is the core tech that lets the company go after these huge, complex problems for enterprise businesses, moving way beyond simple chatbots. Okay, so how do they pull this off? How does it actually work under the hood? Well, this gets us to their technology moat, the deep, defensible tech that sets them apart from literally everyone else. And it really comes down to two big ideas. First off, the tech is trigger native. Now, this is so important. It means the conversation starts from a physical scan out in the real world, not from some widget on a website. And that scan gives the AI instant context. It knows exactly what product you're holding in your hand or what machine you're standing in front of. Second, it's PIM aware, and this just means the AI is plugged directly into a company's internal data systems. All that back-end stuff like their product information or their inventory systems. This gives it access to real-time, super specific data. So it's not guessing, it knows the exact batch number or the maintenance history of the very thing you just scanned. And this is the killer question that just drives the whole point home. A generic chatbot on a website has zero idea what physical product you're looking at. It has no context. But a trigger-native agent, it knows. And that one thing changes everything. So let's see how this all comes together in a real-world disaster scenario, like a product recall. A customer scans the code on the item. The AI instantly gets the product's SKU and batch number. It checks the company's internal database, confirms that this specific item is part of the recall, and immediately kicks off the return process for the customer. Think about that. One scan to a complete resolution. That is just incredibly powerful stuff. So, with all this powerful technology, how do you turn it into a massive business strategy? Well, the company goes after what it calls burning platforms. These are just huge, urgent, can't ignore them problems that entire industries are being forced to solve right now. And here's a monster of a burning platform. By 2027, the standard UPC barcode, the one we've been using for 50 years, is going away. It's becoming obsolete. A global mandate is forcing every single product to switch to a 2D code, like a QR code. This isn't optional. It's an industry-wide tectonic shift.
And here it is, the absolute genius of their entire strategy. They walk into these massive companies and they say, look, you have to spend millions of dollars putting these new codes on all your products anyway. So don't just make it another dumb link. Turn this mandatory compliance cost into your single most powerful competitive advantage.
And this strategy, it's not just for barcodes. It applies to so many of these huge burning platforms. You've got new food traceability rules from places like Walmart that demand item-level tracking. This system handles that perfectly. Or the EU's new digital product passport for fashion. This turns that legal requirement into an amazing customer experience. It even helps with the silver tsunami in manufacturing, where experts are retiring and taking decades of knowledge with them. This tech captures that expertise and makes it available with a simple scan of a machine. All right, so let's do a quick recap. We've got QRA, the scan-to-talk product, that fixes the dumb link problem by solving the simplicity gap. The brain behind it is Agentic AI, which acts instead of just answering, and that tackles inefficiency. And the whole thing is protected by this tech mode of being trigger native for instant context and PIM-aware for deep, accurate data. It's this beautiful, complete system where every single part makes the other stronger. And this is the zinger they use to challenge their competitors, especially with things like that EU digital product passport. They go to these big brands and say, you've spent millions building a system to store your data, but then you just show your customers a static web page. You've built a database, not an experience. They call that the conversational gap. It's such a sharp way to frame it. And that really leaves us with this final, powerful idea. This whole strategy, it's not just about making QR codes smarter. It's about completely reimagining our relationship with the physical world around us. What if every product, every machine, every single object wasn't just a thing, but a dynamic, helpful conversation that's just waiting to happen?